Hey, what is up guys, TheKnowee here, and in today's video we are continuing on with our Unity tutorial for beginners. This is episode number 4 and we have a lot of juicy material for you guys, so be sure to pay attention and be ready because there's going to be a lot we do in this video. So in the last video I covered the two different ways that we can get our player to move jump once, right? But we want to add one more way. I want to show you one more way we can do that, and that is called layer filtering. So the first thing we need to do is put our player on a layer. Well, we happen to have that button right over here to the top right there. Alright, and then in our layers, we have transparent, ignore raycast, water, UI, and player, okay? So I already have player, but what you guys are going to do is you guys are going to come over here to tags and layers, and you're going to create player in user layer number 8, the first available one. And then it's not going to actually apply it to your player yet. You need to come over here, click this drop down, and add layer. And it's going to ask you, do you want to set to all the child objects? Say, yes, I do. Now, everything is on the player layer when it is the player, which is what we want. Now that we have this player layer set, we need to put that into code. So we head back over here to Unity, and we're going to put a comma right here at the edge. And we can add a layer mask, an integer layer mask. So let's make one. Player mask. That's what we're going to name it. But it's yelling at me because it has not been implemented. It says doesn't exist in the current context. Well, for you guys, what you can do is you can press Control period. It'll also pull up this. It'll say generate field player dot player mask. There's also another way you can do it is you can right click and you can do quick actions or refactorings, and it'll do the same thing. Control period is going to be the easy one. That's going to be one of your keyboard commands you can remember. So you're going to generate field player mask. So that comes back up here, and we've created a player mask, but we don't want it to be an integer. We want it to be a layer mask. Alright, let's save that up real quick. Okay, now we set the length to 0. And still, that's going to work. It's still going to be happy. But we need to make this layer mask available to see in the inspector. So let's change it from a private to a serialized field. So what I want you guys to do is highlight your entire line for layer mask all the way over here. I want you to press Control X. What that does is it removes that line but copies what was on the line, and then press backspace to get rid of the line. Press enter and then Control V. Then we're going to change this private, put in your brackets, and then serialized field, and then Control S. Now we have the layer mask and the player mask. Okay? So now that we have this defined, okay? Now what do we need to do? So we need to head back over here and click on our player. And our player mask says nothing. Well, what does that mean? Well, it means it's checking for nothing. We want it to check for everything except for the player. So let's do that. Do that. Mixed. So we wanted to ignore raycast, but we wanted to ignore the player. Okay. Now let's try this out. Can I still move? Yep. Jump. Oh, that's something interesting, isn't it? So this is a platformer game, right? And if you guys have ever played any sort of platformer like Mario, one of the biggest things you could do is you can jump in the air and you can control where you go. When I'm playing my game, I can jump, but I can't control where I go. I jump, I press A and D in the air, and I can't control myself. Well, I want to be able to control myself when I'm jumping around in the air and not just fall to my death because, well, I can't control where I'm going. So let's make that work. And it's a really easy fix. We see this rigid body component all the way down here. What I want you to do is Control X, go ahead and get rid of this line, and then press enter and Control V. Alright, and all that does is simply put this line first. So now it'll check this line first and then check all of this other stuff. So let's try it out now. So if I jump, I can control where I want to go in the air. So if I want to really control where I want to go, right? I can, I'm not going to make that jump. I'm going to bail, or, I really want to make it, right? Uh-oh. Ooh, here we go. Here's our next bug we're going to fix. Is I'm just holding the D key and I'm sticking to the wall. Oh, there we go. I fell. I let go. Here, watch. Let's recreate it again, right? So we're going to jump. Boom, made it. And then jump. I'm not going to quite make it, but I can press and hold D. And I still can't jump again because I'm in the air. And the reason this is happening is because, well, my player is super sticky. I can't just fall. There we go. I let go. So now I fell. So we don't want our player to cheat like that and just hold the D key the entire time and save themselves. So what we're going to do is we're going to head over here to the capsule collider. And if we take a look right here, we have what is called a physics material. What is a physics material? It defines the physics of an object, right? So how do we do that? Well, we're going to head over here to our assets and we're going to create one more wonderful folder and we're going to name it Phys Material. And then in Phys Materials, we're going to create a physics material. Where is it at? There it is, physics material. Not 2D, regular physics material. We're going to name it Zero Friction. You can name it whatever you want, just name it with something that will make sense to you. Now we head over here to our Zero Friction physics, and we can see what we have over here is dynamic friction, static friction, how much bounciness our object has, what is our friction combined, and what is our bounce combined. What does that all mean? Well, this is how sticky an object is, right? So our dynamic and static friction of the object is going to be at 0.6. Of course, you're going to only figure out how much that really is. There's no way to really put that into terms of the game unless you play with it, right? So how slippery are we in the dynamic friction and the static friction? You know, how sticky are we when we're not moving? How sticky are we when we're moving? How bouncy are we? And it's on a scale of 1 to however big you want to make it. 0 to 1, I believe. Yeah, 0 to 1. How bouncy you are. So if I have it all the way at 1, right? If I have bounciness at 1, then I'm like super bouncy. I'm going to touch the ground. I'm going to just go boing. I'm a bouncy ball. Versus 0 bounciness. Okay, I'm not bouncy at all. You can think of static friction as how hard it is to start moving. So like picture yourself as in your mud, right? So say our player is stuck in mud, right? There's a bunch of mud here, right? How hard is it for him to actually start going where he wants to go? That's static friction. And then dynamic friction is saying how hard is it for him to keep going, right? So like if he gets caught, like when he gets caught on this barrier here, how hard is it for him to continue going, or how slippery is he when he touches this aspect, right? So with 0, he's just going to go whoop, and at 1, he will not move if he touches a surface that he doesn't like. Make sense? I hope so. So we're going to change that. So our dynamic friction, we're going to change to 0, and our static friction, we're going to change to 0, meaning he's not going to have any trouble at all moving or sliding. Now, we also need to do one more thing, our friction combine. Now, friction is defined as when two objects are basically touching one another, what is the friction between them? You know, how easily can they move whilst they're touching each other, right? So the friction combine is either taking the average of both of these numbers, the minimum, it either multiplies them or takes the maximum. We want the minimum. We want it to be 0. So no matter what, he slides. But we're not done quite yet. We need to head back to our player and apply. So click and drag 0 friction and apply it to your material, your physics material, and your capsule collider. Now, let's try out our game. So I can jump. Oh, and I slid right off even though I was holding D on this little block. Now we're going to do some quick level design. We're going to make it a little bit more fair. So scooch, scooch, scooch. Alright, let's play it real quick, see how we feel. Do. Okay, I can fall. That's what I wanted to see. So, jump. Boom. Jump. Boom. And nailed it. Ooh, barely. Okay, cool. So, we can make it from point A to point B, and now we don't have a way to cheat. That's pretty freaking awesome, but in the end, it's still not the greatest of games, right? We don't have too much going on in our game, right? We just have this pill and we have these grass blocks. We really don't have much to go for, right? So now what we're gonna do is we can actually make this a pretty cool level. So let's do some quick level design, alright? So you guys can follow along with me if you want. Some of you have probably already done some level design. I'm going to do some quick level design. So let's duplicate this. Let's make him go up again. Duplicate. And then duplicate. And then scooch over here. And then let's duplicate. Oh, and then if you also really want to, you can do this, duplicate, and then you can make a giant line. Boom. I'm going to move these two, and I'm going to make a little overpass. Make sure it's nice and tall so that our dude can get underneath it. Or he can jump on top of it if he really wants to. And then we're going to copy this one. We're going to move it up and over. And then Control D one more time. And there we go. So we have ourselves a little bit of a level. Let's run through it real quick. So we boop, 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 boop. Uh-oh. I can't see the end of our level. I don't know if you guys can, but I can. Maybe if I scooch back the camera. But in all honesty, I want our camera to follow our player, right? I want to be able to make it over here and still see where I'm going. So let's make our camera do that. Let's quickly save. Close up our level, out of sight, out of mind. Now there's two main ways for our camera to follow the player, and one of them involves making a script, but for our simple 2D intro game, we're not going to be doing that. What you can do is you can click and drag your main camera and child it to the player. Alright, I'm also going to set it so that it doesn't have any rotation. I don't know how it had rotation. Let's make it position 6, 0, and then -10. And let's raise it up a little bit. Let's go 1. Oh, that's good. How about 2? 3? Oh, I'm doing rotation. I'm silly. Let's go 3. 1.5. That seems fair. Alright, let's try it out. So we're going to close that up. Out of sight, out of mind. And boom. And as I jump, he follows. Oh, I missed the jump. Hold on, let's try it again. Boom. And now I could see the end of my level, which is pretty freaking awesome. Now you guys can go on from here and make as cool of a level as you want, but for me, I want to keep the show rolling. We're going to make this game super duper cool. Alright? We're going to make this feel more and more like Mario. Okay, let's see if I can make this jump. Nope, I can't. But, oh, I can't even go underneath it. There we go. That's a quick fix I needed to do. Control up a little bit. Let's quickly run back over there and doot. Oh, jeez. Doot. Doot. And, ooh, I barely made that jump. And then can I make it under this? I can. And of course, the last jump of the level to the end. Oh, I missed it. Okay. But I'm pretty sure you can make that. It's a pretty solid jump. Let's scooch that in just a little bit. Like a little. Do that for all of these. Maybe this one too. There we go. Okay. So, now that we've created a level, you can go off on your will and make as cool of a level as you want. I'm going to keep mine like this. I'm going to keep going. Now, we're going to make this feel more and more like Mario. What do I mean by that? Well, let's add some coins. Let's add a collectible. So, let's add our first coin, right? So, we're going to go create. We're going to create a 3D object. We're going to make a sphere. It's got this ugly transform. Let's reset its position and its everything. Let's put it like here. Oh, that's a pretty big coin. I don't want it that big. Let's make it smaller. Let's also make this number prettier. Let's make it 0.2, 0.2, and 0.2. That's a pretty decently sized coin. Let's control. Right, we don't want our player touching it right away. We don't want him to get money right off the rip. That still doesn't look like a coin to me. It looks more like a pill. Well, this is a pill. This is like a ibuprofen, I guess you can say. It's not a coin. So let's add a material to it. Let's color it up real quick. So let's go into materials. Let's create a new material. I'm going to name it coin. I'm also going to name our sphere to coin. Oh, it's called coin sphere. Nice, coin. And its position looks fine. Let's go ahead and change the material for the coin. Right, we are going to make it like a yellow, goldish color. So, boom. Let's apply it. Oh, I was about to make our guy yellow. But it also has this shadowy effect going on the bottom. I don't know if you guys noticed that. So let's zoom in. But it has a shadowy effect going on here at the bottom. So if you take a look, boom. This is all shadowy. I don't want it like that. I want it to be like emissive, like, oh, you get the money. So what I mean when I say emission, I mean emission. So let's go ahead and click emission. And let's choose our color. I'm going to make it not so bright. Let's make it like a little bit of a lighter yellow. There we go. That's our coin. There we go. So now we have a pretty awesome coin. And since I want to actually put a few more of these in our level, let's go ahead and prefab it. So let's grab our coin, throw it in the prefab, and now let's make some more coins. So I'm going to put one right there. Let's reset its transform. Control. Oh, geez. What did I do? Okay, there we go. Revert. There we go. Okay. Let's put one right there. Let's Control D. Could put one right there. And maybe there's one in the jump right here, like in the middle. And then one more, like here at the edge. Alright, so we got a few little coins. But you will notice this real quick. Here, let's move this coin down here. And then let's grab all of our coins. Shift click the bottom of coin 4 and then grab your top coin and then put them into level and collapse it. Out of sight, out of mind. But here's the thing with our coins. I go to collect it. What the heck? Oh. Wait, what? Why can I not collect my coin? Well, it's because it's still an object, right? It's not like a coin. It's still an object, right? It thinks that it's just like a block. It has a collider, it has all kinds of stuff. So we are going to make these coins. So go ahead and click on, oh, that's the player level. Let's go to our coin. Let's go into the prefab. And what we're going to do is in Sphere Collider. That was the most horrible line I've ever drawn. In our Sphere Collider, boom, perfect. We're going to go into what is called the trigger. What is a trigger? It basically says that this thing is no longer interactable as an object. It is only set as a trigger. So you can walk through it and then it does something. It is a trigger. And the reason we're doing this is in the prefab is it'll apply to all of our coins. So we're going to click is trigger to true. We're going to go out. Go ahead and collapse your level. Out of sight, out of mind. And let's try again. Boom. And now I can walk through my coins. But they still don't do anything. I'm just kind of like absorbing the coin, right? I'm just kind of like, and then just kind of spitting it right back out. I don't do anything with the coins yet. And I want to do something with the coin. Well, let's put it simply. Let's just have them disappear for now, as if you're actually collecting them as coins. And with that, we're going to head right back into the code. So now we must do a new mono behavior. And that, it kind of like hold on. So with that, we're going to head right back into the code and we're going to play with a new mono behavior. So like on collision enter or exit, we're going to do an on trigger enter. So on trigger. Oh, am I in the fix update? I'm such a goob. Okay, hold on. Let's go back out. You have to make sure you're not in fix update. So on trigger, enter, and press tab once. And it says collider and other. So what is the thing that, what is the other is basically the thing that you're triggering. All right. And we're going to make a if statement. And we're going to say if the other dot game object. So what is the thing we're colliding with, right? And then we're going to declare, so the layer, let's make it a layer as well. And we need to actually make it a layer, right? So it's gonna yell at us, well, what layer is it in? We haven't defined it yet, so let's go back to our coins. Go in here. Let's make a new layer, and we're gonna name it coin. Make sure you remember what layer we're putting this in. So coin is in layer 9. Coin, layer 9. Now it is its own layer. Okay, go ahead and collapse that. Head back into code, and now we're gonna set the layer. So remember, it is equals, so equals 9. Oh, 90, geez Louise. 9. Open curly brackets, braces. There we go. And now, I want to destroy, because we're gonna make them disappear, so destroy. We don't want to destroy ourselves, so we're gonna do other dot game object. And then semicolon. Now what this is saying is, if you collide with a trigger, if the other game object is on the 9th layer, then you're going to destroy that other game object, right? Because a destroy, if you say just destroy game object, you're destroying the player, right? But since I'm saying the other, right, the thing that we're colliding with, we're saying we want to destroy the other game object, then we're destroying the coins. So let's try that out. So let's press play and jump, boop, and the coin is now gone from existence. It has been destroyed. And that is pretty epic. So now I've made it so I can collect some coins. Yay! Eventually I'll get a 1-up for all the times I've fallen off the ledge. Maybe. Who knows? We'll make all these little 1-ups instead, so we can pretend I haven't fallen off the edge a bunch. But that is pretty epic. And from here, we can only expand, right? So now we have a pretty awesome game. I can jump. I can't jump infinitely. I can control where I jump, right? So I can't just, oh no, I'm jumping off the edge. Not. Right? You're not just jumping in one direction. I can collect coins. Even though it doesn't feel like I'm collecting coins, you're definitely collecting coins, even though, you know, you're just kind of destroying the little circle that's there. But that's okay. And in the end, that is pretty epic. And from here, in our next video, in the next video I'm going to have for you guys, we're going to have it so that I can show you all of the amazing things that you can go from here, right? And in the future, what you guys can look out for is I'm going to be continuing on with Unity, but I'm going to be making more of a series, and it's going to be basically going in beyond just this, right? Just making a prefab, making a player, you know, how to control our player. Alright, what can you do with certain code, right? We're going to be making an actual really cool game and just expanding on from there. So if you guys are excited for that as much as I am, make sure to stick around so you guys can see all of it. But for now, we have one more video in the series for our Unity tutorial for beginners. And then after that is all of the epic stuff I have planned for you guys. So if you guys are excited for that, make sure you guys subscribe and tune in for all of the epic content coming in the future. And I hope to see you guys there. Peace out.